Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Kiy NY007. You ain't ready for that. Greetings. Welcome to Kiy NY007. Well, welcome. As we get right into it, greetings. Hopefully, y'all are encouraged to come on in early too, so you don't miss something. You might miss a good or a bad dance move I have, but welcome. I'm gonna pull up the thumbnail for today's live stream. So I did one yesterday, maybe a little over a half hour. So I ended up coming back on today. Now with this, as you can see by the thumbnail, I wanted to get into things that have to do with trials in certain murder cases. This one in particular that I'm going to show, along with the YSL. So we have updates with the YSL trial. Mostly I know rapper Young Thug and what's been going on with him and the Young Slime Life crew. So we'll have that, some updates. They're still having issues. They're actually at recess early today because they're trying to get a hold of a witness, work out the right scheduling for that. I'm going to show the judge. I'm going to show, because they're on break, so no one's missing anything right now. I'm going to show a bit of a recap from this morning, maybe an hour ago. And I'm going to show you what's going on with the woman to the left that you see in my thumbnail. And I wrote sexy red lookalike killer relationships. When it's over, it's over. She looks just like sexy red. It's not her. And she killed her husband. And it sounds like the marriage had been over with, but not in her eyes. So what I want to do is show some of that, some of the clips. We'll have fun with the information we go over here to some, to an extent. We still do send our condolences, of course, to the deceased people, in both of these cases. And just want to talk about possibly some things on like womanhood, being a woman myself. We have a hard time getting over relationships a lot of the time. And I'm starting to see an uptick in killings done by females, which is usually not our thing. We just don't do that. But it's like it's to the point where I've talked about this in the past too, maybe a year ago, where relationships, when they end, we feel we need to end your life and sometimes their own life. So I wanted to talk about that and then show some clips on that. So I think it's cool too because she looks like sexy red. I don't like sexy red, but that's not the point. She looks so much like her, and you might even get a vibe off of her like, oh, that ain't sexy red. the way she kind of talk a little bit and stuff. So it's interesting. But like I said again, the trial is not in progress at the moment. They are on break. So what I'll do is do a recap from earlier, and we'll take a look at what's holding us up because the state in Georgia, they just don't have their ish together still. So that's what's pausing the trial at this moment. But we'll get right into things, and I'm going to show what our lookalike Sexy Red was up to.
And Ms. Love, you removed from the case. I have questions for both of them. He had lied, and that everything he said was a lie. It denied Mr. Williams' right to a fair trial.
So that was when Attorney Steele was saying, which I like to show this because there's been multiple times where they're saying we should have a mistrial. I even asked a question before in the chat, and you guys agreed by the majority that you all feel that it should be a mistrial also. So that's interesting. Yeah, so feel free to. It's an open chat room. You can share your thoughts and ideas. I see y'all already getting started. This don't have nothing to do with no Diddy. But you know, I know people want to fool around and let out whatever they got to vent about, and they come on here to do it. So if you just keep it respectful, that's all I really ask. That's it. Other than that, I just ask to participate, share your thoughts, ideas, and you can always feel free to tell us how your day is going. You know, a lot of people don't care. I do a little, at least a little bit. So welcome to Kiy NY007. Let me show some of that video too now. How do I have her in here? Is it under 6? Oh, yeah. No.
This is my first time cheating on him. It was one time thing with me.
Well, as y'all can see, she said it was just a one-time thing with her. We got all these killers just in time for Halloween. Have you ever seen Freddie wearing a half shirt? Probably not. Don't hate. All right, as the live stream warms up, sometimes it takes a little while, sometimes don't. Who's in a Halloween spirit like me? Ooh, don't act too dead, y'all. Y'all live?
That was a murder. Somebody taking your husband's life for what appears to be no reason, you know?
This is my first time cheating on him. It was one time thing with me.
A Lubbock judge has sentenced a woman for stabbing her husband to death in 2017. LaSharia Hastings pleaded guilty today for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. She was originally indicted for murder, but accepted a plea deal for the lesser charge. The attack was in August of 2017 near 58th Street and Avenue G. Police found Randall Stewart by his car bleeding, and he later died at the hospital. Hastings will spend 10 years in prison for the attack. Sexy Red lookalike going, but babe, I love you. You my everything. I beat and killed you. I'm delusional. You my everything. We still go together. Married, living in different states.
How do you think he got stabbed?
I have no idea.
Just keep in mind that it is a sworn statement for a murder investigation, okay? It's...
Then I went out there as soon as I see somebody, but I didn't see them by the church get that dog.
Do you know Reagan Cantrell?
Yes.
Who was that?
He was in the house sleep.
And who's Byron Hastings?
Voicemail. And we didn't answer, then I went out there to go help him look for it. But then when I get like to the door, like where their door is, I heard yelling. So I didn't know if he was on his phone arguing or what. But I heard yelling, and when I got out, like I could see him talking to somebody or whatever. And I was like, babe, he was facing this way, like he was like in front of my car, facing this way. and he was arguing with some dude. I don't know, like I couldn't see. I just heard two men voices.
See, this where she messed up though, because you listen to what she's saying. She said, "Oh, I heard noise, so I came outside and it was just him and some dude." Then she says he grabbed his chest as if he got stabbed because he got stabbed to death. Then she says they was in a stance like they about to fight. What do you mean they're about to fight? They would have already been fighting. See, when you lying, you're not going to make sense.
And so then the dude took
That's a
off
good thing
when
about
I said
liars.
babe or whatever. And it was a car that was parked at the end of the street when we pulled up. But like I said, when I walked in the house, I didn't see anybody.
What kind of car was that?
It was, I don't know what kind of car it was. Like, I wasn't paying attention to the cars.
Some of y'all in the chat already. Don't she look like Sexy Red? Come on.
Like I said, it was a whole group of cars on the street or whatever, and I just went and parked because I was going to his house.
I appreciate the likes. Somebody hit it up. Thank you.
And then
you should give a damn.
when I said babe or whatever, then the dude took off running or whatever. I don't know if he jumped in the car or not. I don't know, the car was gone.
Which way did he take off running?
Towards, like, the direction my car was, he went that way.
So you would have saw him running down the street?
Yes, like, I seen him running.
What was he wearing?
I couldn't tell, it was dark. Like,
what did he look like?
I couldn't see his face. I couldn't even see my husband. I just knew it was my husband because he's tall or whatever.
How you couldn't see him? And then she says, "Oh, it was a black guy that did it. I guess he was black. Stop lying. She's Sexy Red looking ass girl."
LaSharia Hastings pleaded guilty today for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. She was originally indicted for murder, but accepted a plea deal for the lesser charge. The attack was in August of 2017 near 58th Street and Avenue G. Police found Randall Stewart by his car bleeding, and he later died at the hospital. Hastings will spend 10 years in prison for the attack.
And she may only do half that time. So what it is her husband was stabbed to death. So she laid it out as if he got into an altercation with another man, and she was the one trying to come and run up and help. But the question that I do pose, which I'm going to put in the chat, actually, I'll do it right now. The polls do pretty well, even though you guys are too quiet. You do tend to answer questions and, polls, stuff like that. So I think that's good to have, something good to do. So I'm asking about relationships with this. Hang on a second. Not know how to get over relationships. All right. So I do pose that question. Because we all know that women, we just have more feelings a lot of times, but when you get with the right man, he can have just as much feelings too. But men get over relationships. You guys get over things in like 2 weeks. There's something about the 14-day. Each week has 7 days in it. My number is 7. I don't have a number, but I use 7. And by the way, starting next year, my channel name is going to be slightly changed. I mentioned this a little bit in the past. It's going to be Kiy NY007. I have a 7 there. I'm going to keep that, but the rest of the name will be slightly changed. Everything's the same though. It's just more symbolic of the number 7 for me. 7 days in a week. They say 7 sins, 7 seas. 7 is lucky. 7 just brings good things. So I look at it like that. But there's something about you men. I don't know what it is. I'm going to talk about this again one day soon. And hopefully you guys open up and can talk about it too and join me in some of that conversation when it comes to like relationships and ending them, and how women just tend to need closure and men usually don't.
Sexy Red lookalike going, but babe, I love you. You my everything. I beat on killed you.
This is from a video I had.
You my everything. We still go together.
I just knew it was my husband because he's tall or whatever.
I'm going to check on the trial too, because like I said, there was a holdup with the YSL trial. What's new with that, right? So yeah, they are still in recess, which I can share. I'm gonna share just real quick here. As you can see, the chat's still moving along, but they are where are we? Oh, they are not in session. I want to take us back to the beginning. She mentions Rich Homie Quan, who is another rapper who was recently deceased. So she said, like Lamar can't be here, so they're just talking about the changes that are going to have to be made moving forward.
Mr. Lamar, Rich Homie Quan, and neither side really should be able to say. It seems that the defense wants to bar the state from being able to say the defense didn't call this witness at trial, which obviously they concede they have no right to do and say they have no intention of doing, and they would not be permitted to do such. But at the kind of flip side of the same coin, the defense seems to maybe be suggesting that they would like to present that the state could have but did not call that witness. And I would not permit that either, because we're clearly nowhere near, unfortunately, the end of the state's case. And obviously, Mr. Lamar has now passed, and so we don't know whether they would have called that witness or not. So I wouldn't permit the defense to make that kind of a presentation either. So I trust that everybody understands what they would not be permitted to do. And then we have, yes, sir.
Speak to that for a moment.
Yeah.
Good day, Your Honor, and good day, everyone.
Good morning.
So I understand your ruling, obviously abides by it, but what I'd like the record then to show, if you don't find this to be changing, the state sent us lists of witnesses on a short list that they were going to call Mr. Lamar, who's a performer known as Rich Homie Quan. This was well before September 5, 2024, when he, God forbid, passed unexpectedly. So to me, and the state has put in evidence over objection that starting in the fall of 2014, Mr. Lamar and Jeffrey Williams don't get along, and Mr. Lamar is with Mr. Donovan Thomas, who doesn't get along with Jeffrey Williams. And it's all, to me, it's all made up. It's not supported. Obviously, the jury can make that determination. But I think that it is important that the state, in writing, put the predecessor court as well as the Mr. Williams et al. On notice that they were going to call Mr. Lamar. They filed their service of a subpoena, and they don't call him to support this, supposed beef. And I can't do anything about his prior statements now because it would be frivolous under 24-8-807, which is rarely used. It's frowned upon, and it has to have the same guarantees as a dying declaration or something. It's not like that. He gave interviews throughout all the years talking about his close relationship with Jeffrey Williams. And if you let that in, that's great with me. But I'm assuming you're not going to let it in, so I wasn't going to try to get it in because I don't think that that's a dying declaration type of statement. So I'm stuck. So I would like the jurors to know that unfortunately he passed, and the state stated that they would call him as a witness and subpoenaed him. And if the state has reasons that they didn't call him, that's fine. I understand I'm opening a door, but that's why I put it in writing. That's my motion.
All right. Well, I mean, if the state's case were over with, then that would be a different argument. But it is not as though the state's witness list has stayed in anything like any semblance of order during this trial. So, I mean, I don't think that if you can get a concession out of the state that they weren't going to call him even if he stayed alive, that would also be different.
All right, let me come for a sec. So this is basically their discussion about the fact that Rich Homie Quan is no longer alive. He passed away. As far as we know, it was due to drugs. Um, he was one of the closest homies of Jeffrey, of Williams, who is rapper Young Thug. His name was brought up multiple times here and there. But the point is, they wanted to make a point that, the state is saying, they want to bring this case home, but it's just taking forever. They want to say, hey, Young Thug has been a menace to society. Look how he's falling out with all his friends. Look, Rich Homie Quan said they don't get along. Look how they did so much together. They were on tour. They rapped together. They did all these things together. Look, he was trying to kill him too. He's a killer, him and his crew, YSL. So now that he passed away, the judge had to make a point too, like, she never said that he was going to be called in as a witness anyway. They had plenty of time to get Rich Homie Quan in here while he was alive, but they didn't do it. So, you know, that's how that was. Hopefully my feet don't look dry. I oiled up my skin though. But yeah, so that's how that's going. Some of my reception might be going in and out, so I'm gonna have to try to. It looks like it's telling me something, so I'm gonna work on that. Y'all feel free to chat. I think it's kind of weird that some people have to wait till 20 more people come in the chat or hundreds or thousands when nobody really can see your ass anyway. So what's the point when you can help support a channel while it's working on getting popping and growing? Don't look for me later once I'm really going. I ain't gonna be looking for y'all. Look right over y'all like y'all been looking over me. Oh yeah, so they had to get that out of the way. I can still play that in the background, just mute it. Because right now they're not saying much. They were just still having that back and forth with whether or not Rich Homie Quan would have even been called in. So I gotta check my audio. All right, so that's how that's going. Put more music back in here. I would like to get some Young Thug stuff too. I have to just try out certain instrumentals because some of the ones I was putting in, they didn't. They didn't let me do it. They didn't want me to do it. So what I am allowed, I play. Yeah, so that's where that's going. And then they're still in they had to call recess. They've been in recess for like more than 20 minutes now, almost a half hour. So they're still waiting on the state. So back and forth, I will keep checking on the trial to see if they restarted yet. In the meantime, there's plenty of things to go over and discuss. I want to get back to while we're waiting on the trial to get back running, then I'll get back to the trial. Right now, they're not on, they're in recess. So I've just been checking back and forth with them in the meantime. But yeah, everything's just been slowed up. I give both props to the defense and the prosecution because they fought a good fight. They're just not having it. Both sides are like so in this thing, man. This is what it takes. This is how it's supposed to be in the courts. When you have your attorneys, you got the state, you got your defense attorneys. This is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to really be like, you're fighting to win. But it's still questionable why the state would really have over 100 witnesses for this case. That's what's been holding it up. So the newest judge who we have now, Whitaker, she's been trying to proceed and move things right on along. So let's see if any action yet. Nope. See, they're still sitting there. So there's still nothing going on just yet. What I am going to do is get back into this other case. Yeah, if you have any comments, feel free to put them in the chat. Hit like. There's no point in y'all taking up seats and y'all absorbing what I'm saying. I got my little visuals going in the back too. And you're coming here to just not say anything at all. Like y'all need to come up out of that. And then when I talk about some stuff, y'all can't hold y'all composure. So I don't know. Y'all kind of weird to me, but I know it's an algorithm thing. There's people that come in for the first time. Welcome. I'm Kiy of Kiy NY007. You'll find different things here. I talk about astrals, has to do with astronomy and astrology. Talk about the community, spirituality, the energy that we have, and things to do with relationships, intimacy, the underrated things, which are the little things in life that are a big deal when it comes to our relationships. So speaking of relationships, this Next thing I'm going to finish playing. Her name is her last name is Hastings, but she looks just like Sexy Red. And someone said it in the comments, and I was like, yo, she does look like Sexy Red. And thanks for the votes. So the question is, do women not know how to get over relationships? And okay, we got a vote in that said no, we don't know how to get over relationships. I agree. It tends to be tough. That's where I see this case. This woman murdered her husband, and she's in there acting like, no, it was some other guy, but I couldn't really see, but I knew it was my husband was there. And they're gonna know you're lying. But I do want to get back a little bit into that while we're awaiting the YSL trial to pick back up.
Who was that?
He was in the house suite.
And who's buying Hastings?
He was in the house suite.
And we didn't
Woke up
answer, then
that
I went
good.
out there to go help him look for it. But then when I get like to the door, like where their door is, I heard yelling. So I didn't know if he was on his phone arguing or what. But I heard yelling, and when I got out, like I could see him talking to somebody or whatever. And I was like, babe, he was facing this way, like he was like in front of my car, facing this way. And he was arguing with some dude. I don't know, like I couldn't see. I just heard two men voices. And so then the dude took off when I said babe or whatever. And it was a car that was parked at the end of the street when we pulled up. But like I said, when I walked in the house, I didn't see anybody.
What kind of car was that?
It was, I don't know what kind of car it was. Like, I wasn't paying attention to the cars. Like I said, it was a whole group of cars on the street or whatever. And I just went and parked because I was running his house. Like, I wasn't paying attention to detail or anything like that. And then
She wasn't paying attention to detail, but yet usually we do pay attention to detail. Details come back to us during trauma, after trauma. You can remember a smell, a feel, maybe even a taste of your own blood in your mouth, stuff like that. You understand? So body language isn't really as telling. She's just she's defensive, but she's trying to put it off on some imaginary man that killed her husband and not her. Now I'm going to show y'all too. They don't live together anymore. So why is it still playing if I paused it? They don't live together anymore. She gave that up. She said, oh, I live in a different state. But when I come to his house, we're together. What you mean? It sounds like y'all not really together. And that happens a lot to where I think as women, we just get more, it's hard to dismantle what we put together to make a relationship. So I think that's why too it's harder to let it go. It's like, no, we're a part of each other's world. But especially when you're married, you're supposed to be a part of each other's world for life, forever. There isn't supposed to be you over there talking to this other chick, or I got my dude on the side and I'm sneaking around and all he got to do is DM me and all this other F-ish. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let the rest of this.
it was a car that was parked at the end of the street when we pulled up. But like I said, when I walked in the house,
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How the rest of y'all doing? I hope all is well.
It was like I wasn't paying attention to the cars. Like I said, it was a whole group of cars on the street or whatever. And I just went and parked because I was running his house. Like I wasn't paying attention to detail or anything like that. And then when I said babe or whatever, then the dude took off running or whatever. I don't know if he jumped in the car or not. I don't know, the car was gone.
Which way did he take off running?
Towards like the direction my car was, he went that way.
So you would have saw him running down the street.
Yes, like I seen him running.
What was he wearing?
I can't tell, it was dark. Like,
what did he look like?
I couldn't see his face. I couldn't even see my husband. I just knew that was my husband because he's tall or whatever. But I couldn't even see my husband or whatever. And then when I said babe, he took off. And my husband in his chest like, F you or something like that. So F something. And I was like, babe, and then he walked back to the car. So I didn't know he was hurt until he fell. And so when I see him fall, that's when I took off running over there and I was like, babe, get up, babe, get up. And he wouldn't move, and then I rolled him over, and that's when I seen all the blood. And I was looking for my phone, and I just grabbed his phone, and I was trying to call 911, his phone was locked.
I'm gonna bring that back up. I'm not sure what's glitching with it. Me, I'm a little bun on the head. I got a ball on the head. I peeped too in the Asian community, women wear a bun on their head. That means they're spoken for. They have a husband, someone in their life. And then some women wear even bigger buns. Like the bigger the bun, that's kind of more of the outward expression of love that she has with her significant other, usually her husband. I'm going to try to get this video.
F something, and I was like, babe, and then he walked back to the car. So I didn't know he was hurt until he fell. And so when I see him fall, that's when I took off running over.
She over there like, babe, I love you. I done killed you. You was my everything. Yo, between StreamYard and whatever's going on, come on. It's bogus, man. Are we back? Do I have to end this live stream? Is we's back? Ow. Is we back?
That's how it all came up.
This is my first time cheating on him. It was one time thing with me.
Now it's a murder. It's somebody taking your husband's life for what appears to be no reason, you know?
This is my first time cheating on him. It was one time thing with me.
A Lubbock judge has sentenced a woman for stabbing her husband to death in 2017. LaSharia Hastings pleaded guilty today.
All right, so the man that she killed was her husband, Randall Stewart. And get back to where we left off. Sorry for the interference. But be honest, y'all, don't she look like Sexy Red, that female rapper?
And then when I said, baby, took off, and my husband was in his chest like, F you, or something like that. So F something. And I was like, babe, and then he walked back to the car. So I didn't know he was hurt until he fell. And so when I see him fall, that's when I took off running over there. And I was like, babe, get up, babe, get up. And he wouldn't move, and then I rolled him over, and that's when I seen all the blood. And I was looking for my phone, and I grabbed his phone, and I was trying to call 911, but his phone was locked, so I couldn't. So I ran in there, and I got a Jermaine, and I was like, y'all, he bleeding. Like, I don't know what happened, he bleeding. And when Jermaine came, Jermaine took off running outside, and I was looking for my phone to call 911, but I couldn't find it. And then my cousin was calling 911, and then Alexis said she had y'all on the line or whatever. So when she said that, I ran back out there trying to help Jermaine take off his clothes and apply pressure and stuff or whatever.
And so let's go back. You just heard another man?
Like when I got to, no, I didn't hear the man at first. I just heard.
Because she lying, Sexy Red girl. Over 20 of y'all in the chat, hit the like button. Y'all could do that. Consider subscribing. It's appreciated. Participate. You got it on your mind. You can let it out here to an extent. Thanks.
Arguing.
What was he? What were they
Like
saying?
I just heard voices. Like I heard him arguing, right? So I thought he was on the phone arguing still.
You don't know what he was
I
saying?
don't know what he was saying.
Okay.
I just heard him yelling, and I assumed he was on the phone arguing. I didn't know somebody was out there.
Okay. And then when you walked outside, you actually heard another man's voice.
Yes.
Was it just one man's voice?
Yes.
And you only saw one person run from.
Yes, I only seen.
Was he standing there next to your husband?
Like they were they were about to fight.
Okay.
They were in front of each other.
But you don't know any physical descriptions of this guy. Was he heavy set?
No, he was like skinny like my husband.
Shorter or taller?
A little bit shorter.
Was he black, white, or Hispanic?
I'll say black because I couldn't see it was dark. But that's sometimes.
But you know. And you said that there was a car parked. How
It
far?
was like a car like where that light pole was. It was like a little bit in front of that light pole.
Was it a passenger car?
Chasing. What I don't know if that's crazy. It was kind of
Like your car?
Yeah,
It's not a truck. It's not a truck.
No, it wasn't a truck.
It wasn't an
a
SUV? Okay.
No.
Was it a
Still unclear. Lashiria's attorney claimed this was a strong case of self-defense and that Lashiria was a victim of violence at the hands of Randall, who was severely intoxicated. To support Lashiria's claim, Randall's blood alcohol level was extremely high at the time of his death. Her attorney also had evidence of Randall being aggressive with her while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Randall's family argued it was not the case, and that he was a kind man, and that he was the one who experienced abuse in the relationship. However, the investigations were unable to prove Lashiria intended to kill Randall that night. Therefore, she was offered a plea deal, and her charge was changed from murder to aggravated assault. Lashiria's attorney accepted the plea due to the unpredictability of the jury's decision, and Lashiria was sentenced to 10 years in prison with the possibility of parole after serving half her sentence for aggravated assault. Randall's family was unsatisfied with the outcome, claiming Lashiria deserved to serve more time. However, there was nothing more they could do.
So definite shout out to the people that do come through and do participate. That's the most you can do to help support the channel. Aside from subscribing, please consider subscribing to the channel. There's different things here. Also, hitting the like button does matter. It does make a difference. I ask people to do that. And if you're interested in any other type of donations, it's in the chat. And sometimes it's in the description box. And it's always in the About section. Thank you. Shout out to the new people that did donate to me too. Got a couple of those over the past week or two. Very much appreciated. Whenever I see them back in the chat too, I'll thank them again. This is Kiy NY007, and I'm checking back on the trial right now to see if they got out of recess. So they're still in recess, and we can go back to kind of pick up also where they left off, at least if y'all want, and we can still recap with that. But yeah, so I put the question in the poll, a poll question in the chat. Y'all must be scared to answer it, and that's fine. The question is, do women not know how to not get over relationships? Like what I just showed here, which I thought was funny because she looks like Sexy Red the rapper, but she killed her husband. But I'm seeing more and more of these cases. And it's not until they released the footage in the interrogation room that we're able to, really see it and see what's going on and see these people lying in real time about it, and the pain that it causes both families of the victim and of the suspect, all because the relationship ended. And there's one person that's just not over it. They're like, no, it's not over. But then they end it with death. And I say delusion because, yeah, in some ways, we as women are delusional. We have a different reality that's not real, and that can be dangerous. I believe there's a lot of reason for it. We're more emotional beings, and we can be needy. We're awesome, and we don't know why sometimes we get bad things that come in our life because we know we're good people and it hurts. So we're like, what's going on? So you get that good companion in your life and you don't want to lose him. And it's just interesting because it's like he was already gone. This woman stated they live in different states. They're married. And the interrogator also asked her, he said, according to your Facebook, you guys weren't getting along. Like she was in there dissing him, saying Ray this and stuff like that about him, named Randall. And she said, no, we're good. We're good. You can ask my mother. Why would he ask your mother? But they were on the outs. And that's another thing too, where social media plays a huge role in our lives, whether you want it to or not, is a part. But the more you're on social media and tell your business, the more your business is put out there. So they could tell that they were going through so many issues and it wasn't good. So she tried to paint a different picture, though, of course, when she got into the interrogation room. So, there's that. So that's why, though, I do pose the question, because it seems like there's more women just getting fed up. But we're becoming more physically revengeful. You're seeing more women poisoning people in the house. Sometimes it's not just the husband, it be the kids too. So that's why I was like, women have been really losing their way. Um, I see men too, but this is about the women, so I don't play games with genders and all that. You both can get it from me. I ain't biased about it. Um, it's just less natural because now you done lost a person that you didn't want to lose, but you already lost him. So the reality is nobody can have him if you can't. This woman saw him in the car with another woman, and that's what set this whole thing off. She came all the way from Florida to where he was at. That's what set this whole thing off, was her popping up. And she said, the kids was chilling. It was kind of like everybody was kind of just going about their day, just chilling in the house. And then she's like, I heard noise outside, and then she's devastated when he says he didn't make it. But you did it. So now not only does no one get the person, neither do you. So I don't know what it is, but while we're in this phase of when we break up, we feel like it's life and death. And it's not, unless we make it. People can lose their lives. There's a lot of depression too. People ready to off themselves. And there's just been an increase. I'm sure y'all see it. Have y'all seen it? Is anything I'm saying, does it seem foreign to you? Do you not see it that way? Do you feel, hey, we've always had certain levels of violence in relationships, including spouses, but we're just seeing it more because of the cameras and, social media? But I've been studying statistics on crime and stuff for over 20 years. And I think these are unprecedented cases that I'm seeing. It's unprecedented time. I've never seen so much. Now, statistically, females, when we do murder, if we kill someone, it's usually someone we know and love. That's just how it is. It doesn't mean we are going after people we love. It's just those end up being the circumstances in which we were out of ideas or whatever, and then the violence goes too far, and then a woman will end up killing her own family member or spouse. It's a loved one that it happens to. Also meaning women aren't the ones that go around serial killing. We usually don't say, hey, I'm having a horrible day, I want to take it out on anybody. We don't do that. Men do. Men do mass shootings most. Men are more physical anyway. Your biology always says it shows it, right? So they're just more physically combative. But it's almost like anybody can get it. It depends on that man and what he's going through. So that's opposite with women. We're more close encounter crime that occurs. It's in the house. We had a fight. The fight went too far. We're scorned. We're hurt now. Now we're going and finding a husband that we're still married to, knowing we're separated, because we feel like he still belongs to me. He's still my husband. And he is still your husband. That's why I don't really believe in dating people that are still married. I don't care what the situation is. If you ain't divorced, you're still married to that person. And things get nasty. They get nasty. What they say now, nasty work. That's nasty work.
Then I went out there and thought I see somebody, but I didn't see him by the truck at that time.
Do you know Reagan Trail?
Yes.
Who was that?
He was in the house sleep.
And who's behind the house?
Voicemail, and we didn't answer. Then I went out there to go help him. Look.
To prove Lasheria intended to kill Randall that night. Therefore, she was offered a plea deal, and her charge was changed from murder to aggravated assault. Lasheria's attorney accepted the plea due to the unpredictability of the jury's decision, and Lasheria was sentenced to 10 years in prison with the possibility of parole after serving half her sentence for aggravated assault.
So they even dropped down her charges to aggravated assault. Now she murdered someone, but her attorney was trying to make the statement that proved the case that it was her self defense. She had to do what she had to do, but it doesn't look like that. Nothing was really stating that. And family and other witnesses even said she was the abusive one. And that can happen too. I notice in relationships sometimes the woman ends up being the abuser. Um, Feeling like, no, you belong to me. No, well, then we just gonna fight. You know, you got a lot of emotion that kind of sits here and it sits in the womb. And if you're not able to communicate that out properly, it tends to get physical. You know, I think as humans, we all have the same, well, similar abilities when it comes to aggression and when it comes to being the aggressor. But it depends on, too, I think, how we were raised has a big deal to do with it because we all have the similar hearts. We all have similar hearts, similar feelings. So it's other things and it's our parents. And it just makes me wonder, too, like, did our parents really teach us enough about relationships? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel that they are. And I don't think we have enough examples at all of good, healthy relationships. So then we wonder why they turn so sour when we don't have many good examples. Um, yeah, I think that's one of the main things. So that was her. That was Hastings, and she ended up stabbing her husband to death. This was from 2017, but the information is starting to resurface again or more. Someone put it out on YouTube maybe 9 months ago, and then there was some footage. I think that just came out yesterday or the day before, something like that. So that was interesting too. And here's some more from the YSL trial. Currently, they are on break, but we'll see. We'll just do a recap on. Do a little bit of a recap and make sure that it can be heard.
I would ask the court to uphold its own decision to send that loud and clear message. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Armstrong.
Yes, Your Honor. I would agree with Mr. Abt to the point that I would like the court to uphold the determination that the court made, which was that it was not an intentional, willful act, as Mr. Steele has argued. I want to address both of the two cases that he referred to, Illinois versus Allen. One of the issue in Illinois versus Allen was a defendant who refused to act with decorum and was excluded from the courtroom, but was permitted to come into the courtroom if he was going to behave correctly. And so it went specifically to the offensive behavior for as long as the offensive behavior went on. We are asking the court the court appropriately struck the testimony that was at issue. We are asking the court to go further with other testimony that was not the offending testimony. Now, People versus Navarrete is the only case the defense has cited to suggest that this specific remedy was permitted. That is a nationwide search in People versus Navarrete, Navarrete, is the only one that they were able to cite. And that is materially different in a number of ways. Number one, the facts are wildly different.
It's 11:11. Let's have a moment of silence, thought, meditation, manifestation. Just give it a minute.
officer in the case was mad at the judge for excluding a statement that the officer had obtained, and actually had told people that when the prosecutor found out, told the judge after the fact, when they found out, that the officer had basically said he was going to do this because he was mad at the judge and would show the judge what for. That is not anything what happened here. And the reason that the appellate court in California decided that a mistrial was necessary in that circumstance was because of the specific evidence in that case, which is basically three things. You had a witness testifying the defendant had committed lewd acts against them. You had somebody testify they took about, I think it was a dozen or more swabs relevant to that. And then you had the officer testify, oh, I didn't think it was relevant to get the swabs because of the statement the defendant made that I can't talk about. The officer specifically said that because it would prejudice the defendant. And those are the circumstances in which it would, in fact, be incapable for a court to take that away. I would note before I go on to my main point about People versus Navarrete is that the California appellate court stated, we note that a trial court can almost always cure the prejudice of an improperly volunteered statement by granting a motion to strike and charging the jury with an appropriate curative instruction. This court did exactly that. It was just the exact facts, how thin the state's case was on that issue, on basically the entire case. And the reason for it was why they decided a mistrial was necessary on appeal. More importantly, this is the case that they cite that says the remedy of preventing Detective Dennis from testifying further. This is the case that they use for that proposition. At no point in this decision does the appellate court address the legality of that. They simply don't do it. It is not addressed whether that was a legal remedy to occur. It's not something that stands for the proposition that the defense is citing it for, which is that the remedy to prevent Detective Dennis from testifying further is appropriate. And so they have not pointed to any statutory or constitutional authority, and under Rule 402, the exclusion of evidence can exist outside of that in the state of Georgia. Now, I'm sure, let me just strike that. So we're just asking that the detective be able to testify further in the case when the prosecution team determines that he is the person who's best able to testify to facts that are relevant for the jury's consideration.
All right, thank you. So I don't think that the facts in the California case are really that different than the facts here. Frankly, I think that an argument could very plausibly be made that the detective in this case was upset with somebody about his qualifications having been challenged and had made a decision that he was going to show somebody what he thought about that. I don't know that that's what happened, but I do think, like I said before, that the detective absolutely knew better than to have said what he said and did it anyway. And I have given consideration to everything that has been presented, but I am not going to change my decision about this. All right. I think that the next thing that we had to do was sort out the remainder of what we're calling the Ryan evidence. So if y'all want to present what you've come to agreement on and what still needs to be litigated. And thank you, Mr. Armstrong.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. And one small matter that's in this act we can address is in the CAD report. Okay.
Yeah, so as y'all can see, they are still not back from recess. They are still just taking a very long time with this stuff. People are just complaining left and right. It is what it is. Of our hair flipping rapper, Young Thug. Yeah. I'm going to talk about some other things too while waiting for that. Get some music back on. You guys are very unalive. Are you guys unalive for Halloween? You guys, cemetery. Jeez. Unpredictable, I tell you. It's unpredictable.
Very harmful. I asked Judge Glanville, predecessor judge, for relief.
Flashbacks. I remember how tired little Woody was whenever it was time for him to face his snitching in real time on video and audio. Man, it almost sounded like they ready to call little Woody back to the stand too. They brought his name up a couple times last week. I'm like, oh boy, the circus really gonna come back then.
And why? Because it denied Mr. Williams' right to a fair trial. The predecessor judge said there's going to be an independent investigation who released that. And that he would get released that. And that he would get to the bottom of it. I never heard back from that. A jail call, I listened to all these jail calls. We had others listen to all these jail calls. On a jail call, I didn't say anything last week. I played a jail call where Mr. Copeland said that immediately after telling the authorities in December and February, December 22, December 23, that he had lied and that everything he said was a lie about Mr. Williams, and he's telling this to his friend and his sister. He said all of a sudden, this jail call, this interrogation was released. So he believed it was the prosecution team releasing it. That's how it all came up. For a prosecutor who's an advocate to then vouch
All right, so we got the background playing. All right, I can be heard okay? All right, so there's just some mishaps with the networks, I guess. Sheesh. All right, I'm trying. That's how I could tell when the numbers really go. Something happened. All right, so basically, waiting for them to come back into the courtroom. It's been up and down too with the case, with the trial, and a lot of this all has to do with relations, not just who you related to, but relationships, I would say. Yeah, this has a lot to do with relationships. I put another question up, rephrased it. It looks like I do have an answer. I asked, is there more domestic violence done by women these days? And put yes. Yeah, I agree. It's been a lot. I honestly, I try to look at to like talking with whoever is live now, or if you catch the replay again, this is Kiy NY007. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you all too for subscribing. There was new subscribers. People, some people participate, sometimes. Let's this up some. Should I do it this way? Nah, hold on. Let me go back to where I'm usually at. There we go. Okay. I like this too because I like to talk about things going on in space. Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of my idols, and he had to bust our bubble with the fact that there isn't a mini moon. It's really just another asteroid. But technically, they're calling it a mini moon because it is staying within the Earth's atmosphere. In a way, it's in our gravitational pull area, I should say. So it's just sitting around like Earth is here, tilted on its axis, they say. Some say the Earth is flat like a disc. Where the flat earthers at? Some feel it's round like a ball. So anyway, the mini moon is out there hanging around for a couple months. Supposed to be there until the end of November, so until the end of next month. Anyone interested in astronomy and astrology, you get that here. Um, in between, other things that to be discussed. So yeah. Okay. So we get some more votes. I'll check back in and look at that too. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, just about relations or relationships. Oh, that looks a little better. The light is a little bit on me, but on the wall. All right, not too far. I can move. All right. So that's that. Do some people just do anything for clout? I hope everybody's doing good. I don't know what's going on with the networking. It's kind of in and out. So still can come in. You still should be able to chat, do something. You alive? Just, I don't know. Like, show it. Where my shades? While we waiting for that child to start back up. I got dead bodies, don't know what's up. Y'all don't be saying it, but y'all come through the top. Make you want to learn the piano, don't it? You could just be like, woo, woo, woo. Gotta keep showing off my poster. Ghostbusters building. NYC.
She wants that old thing back. She want those heroin tracks. She likes me. She fiends for me nightly. She leans for me. Morning she rush for my touch. This is about lust. Cold sweats occur when I'm not with her. My presence is a must. Bonita apple bomb. I gotta put you on. If I didn't, when we cutting, the feeling to be too strong. In any form, I'm giving you sweet dreams. That Sugar Hill, she call me her sweet thing. That black rain will take away your pain. Just for one night, baby, take me your vein. Now that feeling got you tripping. You don't want to feel no different. This and us has got you itching. Nose wide open and it's dripping. I know what you like. I am your prescription. I'm your physician. I'm your addiction. I know what you like. I know what you like. Everything you love, baby, you love. Baby, you love. Baby, you love. I know. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. I am so dope. Like Louboutins with the red bottoms. You gotta have them. You glad you got them. Like every color Giuseppe's, your guilty pleasure is me. It's so much fun. You shun therapy. Although it never be, the feeling is fleeting. Shopping's like copping. You constantly need it. I'm never around. You constantly seeking. You'll never be down. I know where your peak is. 9.5 weeks is better than 12 steps. I keep trying to remind you to keep telling yourself. Now your conscience is interfering like better yourself. Like you better get help. But when that medicine's felt, we're back together. Don't ever leave me. Don't ever let them tell you that you'll never need me. My chain of white till we DOA. It's my tag of forever. Baby, let's get away. I know what you like. I know what you like. Everything you love, baby, you love. Baby, you love. Baby, you love. I know. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you love home. How could you leave me? I thought that you needed me. When the world got too much and you pleaded with me. Who helped you immediately? How speedy of me? How could you deny me so vehemently? Now your body is shaking. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you like home. Baby, you love home. I know what you like. I know what you like. Everything you love, baby, you love. Baby, you love. Baby, you love.
A little too hot with that mask on. You got the mask on. You got to have the mask on and sit and chill. You can't be dancing around with the mask. Dance with the mask. Dance with that mask on, girl. Whew. Girl, I don't need to lose no weight, girl. How's everybody doing today? Still debating if I'm gonna wait this out or if I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Y'all too damn quiet. Woo! Way too quiet. Let's play. What, Beanie Man? Approved Beanie Man. D word. D.
In their time of need and loneliness, I want thing human them want. What them want? The girls them need. The girls them want. The girls them need a friend, them need a buddy. In their time of need and loneliness, I want thing human them want. What them want? The girl them need. The girl them want. So me introduce myself. My name is Dick. I got a girl who was a cat, always laying on her lap. Sometimes she purr when I'm petting her. My God, she love when I play with her fur. But my girl, she had a friend named Lynette. Loved me from the first day we met. She take a set, now I regret, cause I never enjoyed playing with her pet. Something was wrong, she ran out her elastic band.
I had to pause it. Because when he said she likes when I touch her fur, what fur? Hair? Y'all like bald, shaved, or hairy? Does it matter? I don't think it really matters. Does it? As long as you're clean, you keep it clean. It's usually a guy thing. I be want to know what the guys think. Women, I never really sat around any woman that said, oh, they should shave, or I like a guy like this. We never really have specifications. I think when it comes to women, we're just looked at from the top of our scalp on our head to the bottom of our feet. We're the ones that get rated on like every single thing. So I do be wanting to know. I'm curious about it. Like some people get waxed, some people shave down there, or other areas of the body too. I don't know. Some of y'all have preferences. I even hear some say they won't even really mess with certain women that don't have certain, basically, I guess, like certain hair removed in areas. And then there's some men that don't like not having no hair there at all because they feel it's pedophilic. They don't want to see too much bald skin down there. It just doesn't work for them. Like, Or if they know how old you are, maybe it takes other things to go on. You know what I'm saying? But they can't. All right, I'm done talking for myself.
My name is John, because I'm body, what up for man? I give the wicked Islam, aka Magic One, Ding Dang, beloved by every woman. You're like a chimp, I am a pimp. Girls want blow me big like the goody apim. True, me know him, and she and him. Me a fist on no power till me tired and limb. Me and a gal a par, in a me car. She want eat me nuts from out of the jar. Me tell her stay far from me cigar. She a push me and a push till me just spit pan her. Cause they don't know John like you know John. Original Batman, girl you know him. From him a little youth, now in bigger we are up Friday suit. They don't know John like you know John. Original Batman, girl you know him. From him a little youth, now in bigger we are up Friday suit. Well, Mr. John and Mr. Dick, the girls love them. That's why them can't sleep at night, woman a fuck them. Woman a pull, woman a jerk, woman a tug them. All when him tired down, him and him a shock them. Sometime him a fit up them up like him a fuck them. Double up him fist and run in and slug them. But him no mean no harm, cause when him done him hug them. Females always have a problem, cause they don't know Dick like you know Dick. Dick is your dearest friend. They don't hug him when he's in bed. Kiss him and play with his head. They don't know Dick like you know Dick. Dick is your dearest friend. They don't hug him when he's in bed. Kiss him and play with his head. They don't know John like you know John. Original Batman, girl you know him. From him a little youth, now in bigger we are a Friday suit. They don't know John like you know John. They don't know Dick like you know Dick. Dick is your dearest friend. They don't hug him when he's in bed. Kiss him and play with his head. They don't know Dick like you know Dick. Dick is your dearest friend. They don't hug him when he's in bed. Kiss him and play with his head. They don't know John like you know John. Original Batman. Girl, you know him from him a little youth. Now we nigga wear a Friday suit. They don't know John like you know John. Original Batman. Girl, you know him from him a little youth. Now we nigga wear a Friday suit.
Get going. She's a pathological liar because what? She know it when I see it and I know it when I hear it.
Okay.
I heard what you said about her.
Yeah.
All right. Don't come with the dope fiend lies to me.
Oh, I'm not.
I know it when I see it.
I'm not.
I know it when I see it and I know it when I hear it.
I understand.
I know dope fiends are slick. They don't all slick me. I've seen a million dope fiends.
Right.
All right. Now let's get going. She's a pathological liar because what?
She tells lies about her friends and family.
Mhm.
Like she has friends, but they'll get in fights.
I'm not related to either one.
You a
of them.
friend?
Friends for a while.
You related?
And then she'll go.
About you? Thank you. Have a seat. What else? Get going. She's a pathological liar because what? She know it when I see it and I know
Fighting over that catnip crack.
I heard what you said about her. All right. Don't come with the dope fiend lies to me.
Oh, I'm not.
I know it when I see it.
I'm not.
I know it when I see it and I know it when I hear it.
I understand.
I know dope fiends are slick. They don't all slick me. I've seen a million dope fiends.
Right.
All right. Now let's get going. She's a pathological liar because what?
She tells lies about her friends and family.
Mhm.
Like she has friends, but they'll get in fights.
I'm not related to either one.
You a
of them.
friend?
Friends for a while.
You related?
And then she'll go.
About you? Thank you. Have a seat. What else? Get going. She's a pathological liar because what?
She
know it when I see it and I know it when I hear it.
Okay.
I heard what you said about her.
Yeah.
All right. Don't come with the dope fiend lies to me.
Oh, I'm not.
I know it when I see it.
I'm not.
I know it when I see it and I know it when I hear it.
I understand.
I know dope fiends are slick. They don't all slick me. I've seen a million dope fiends.
Right.
All right. Now let's get going. She's a pathological liar because what?
She tells lies about her friends and family.
Mhm.
Like she has friends, but they'll get in fights.
I'm not related to either one.
You a
of them.
friend?
Friends for a while.
You related?
And then she'll go.
About you? All right. Well, then just say it. You ran off with the man's $40.
But that's
You got
not
your
the-
dope and it was so
not
good you
for
couldn't
that.
make it back.
Didn't want to
It
share.
wasn't for
Yeah,
that.
so let me
She
just
tried
get
to
let
sell
me just
me.
get a nip
Told me-
of it real quick.
She tried to
Let
give
me get a chip. She's
That
trying to
is
get a
not
chip.
true.
Nobody
tried-
can
she
eat.
told me to have
Nobody
sex
can
with him.
smoke just one.
It's not true.
You never made it back.
Nip of catnip.
That's understandable. The man knew he was giving the money to a dope fiend. What made him think you gonna come back with the dope? You want as much dope for yourself as you can get. You
That
can't
wasn't
split no
true.
$40 rock. No way, or can you? How many
I
people
don't
can
do
smoke
crack.
on a $40 rock?
She does crystal meth.
Oh, don't you smoke crystal meth too? Well, how many people can smoke on a $40 crystal meth rock? Seriously, dope fiend. What made him think? Hey, well, then just say it.
Since then, I have not.
All right, but in that occasion, was that?
2.5 months. Yeah, about 2 months ago.
Were you getting high back then? 2.5 months ago.
At her house, yes, but since then I have not.
All right, but in that occasion you were.
She told me to go in the bathroom and.
You were still getting high? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, then just say it. You ran off with the man's $40.
But that's
you got
not
your
the,
dope and it was so
not,
good. All right. Well, then just say it. You ran off with the man's $40.
But that's
you got
not
your
the,
dope and it was so good you couldn't
that.
make it back.
Didn't want to
It
share.
wasn't for that.
Yeah, so let me just get a nip
me-
of it real quick. Let me get a chip. She tried to get a chip.
True.
Nobody can eat.
Told me to have
Nobody
sex
can
with
smoke just one.
It's not true.
You never made it back. That's understandable. The man knew he was giving the money to a dope fiend. What made him think you're going to come back with the dope? You want as much dope for yourself as you can get. You
That
can't
wasn't
split no $40
true.
rock. No way, or can you? How many
I
people
don't
can
do
smoke
crack.
on a $40 rock?
She does crystal meth.
Oh, don't you smoke crystal meth, too?
I can do some of that. I can do some of that. Some of that dancing. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go ahead and in this. That's why a lot of times I don't even come on with the trials unless something's going on too. But I wanted to just talk about the sexy red lookalike and just things that's going on with domestic violence and things like that. And do we see the pattern that's been picked up with women becoming more violent now with their spouses and whatnot? And just not wanting to let go, and then you make the ultimate sacrifice and you lose the person. So I'm just seeing it a lot more now. And I've talked about lesbian relationships; those they hardly ever work out. They're really pounding each other out, but you don't really hear about murder with them. But I don't know, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through, and I'll continue to work on getting people just to participate, hit the like button, and do what you need to do. You do it for people that give you way less information. And so full of shit people can stay on the full of shit channels. Wealthy candle meditation. Maybe one more song before I go. When you break up and don't know what the mother to do, be careful, they might stab you. Like this lookalike.
Randall's family was unsatisfied with the outcome.
Woo, woo. Yeah, I play it one more time. Some of it. You must have just got here, Chaos.
Her husband to death in 2017. LaSharia Hastings pleaded guilty today.
I appreciate y'all. Peace. I'm gonna let this play out and do my song.
For aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. She was originally indicted for murder, but accepted a plea deal for the lesser charge. The attack was in August of 2017 near 58th Street and Avenue G. Police found Randall Stewart by his car, bleeding, and he later died at the hospital. Hastings will spend 10 years in prison for the attack.
Sexy red lookalike going, but babe, I love you. You my everything. I be done killed you. I'm delusional. You my everything. We still go together. Married, living in different states.
How do you think he got stabbed?
I have no idea.
Just keep in mind that it is a sworn statement for a murder investigation, okay? It's
Then I went out there and thought I see somebody, but I don't know. I didn't see them by the truck at that time. I was gone
which way did he take off running?
towards like the direction my car was. He went that way.
So you would have saw him running down the street.
Yes, like I seen him running.
What was he wearing?
I can't tell. It was dark. Like,
What did he look like?
I couldn't see his face. I couldn't even see my husband. I just knew that was my husband because he's tall or whatever. But I couldn't even see my husband or whatever. And then when I said, babe, he took off. And my husband was hitting his chest like, F you or something like that. So, F something. And I was like, babe, and then he walked back to the car. So I didn't know he was hurt until he fell. And so when I see him fall, that's when I took off running over there. And I was like, babe, get up, babe, get up. And he wouldn't move, and then I rolled him over, and that's when
You haven't been diagnosed with anything?
No, I haven't. Why would you think I have? Because I'm black?
And I was looking for my phone, and I just grabbed his phone, and I was trying to call 911 with his phone. And then my cousin was calling 911, and then
What were they?
Like I just heard voices. Like I heard arguing, right? So I thought he was on the phone arguing still.
You don't know what he was saying?
I don't know what he was saying.
Okay.
I just heard him yelling, and I assumed he was on the phone arguing. I didn't know somebody was out there.
Okay. And then when you walked outside, you actually heard another man's voice.
Yes.
Was it just one man's voice?
Yes.
And you only saw one person run from.
Yes, I only seen.
Was he standing there next to your husband?
Like they were about to fight.
Okay.
They were in front of each other.
But you don't know any physical descriptions of this guy. Was he heavy set?
No, he was like skinny like my husband.
Shorter or taller?
A little bit shorter.
Was he black, white, or Hispanic?
I'll say black because I couldn't see. It was dark.
Because I'm black? Because I'm black? Because I'm black? Because I'm black?
Word up. All right, y'all. Now, ooh. But it's only the floor. Where is everything? Peace, y'all.
Said I'm on top of the world.
I'm young right now, but I won't be forever. So I'ma live it up like that's true. You might wanna roll with me too. Said I don't mean to brag, but I live a life that most can only dream about. Yeah. So baby, call me